Previously, we have looked at the Boolean and numeric operations found in Python, and today I want to instead take a look at the 8 comparison operations that are found in Python. Now, comparison operations are operations that, as their name suggests, compare values, and these comparisons can be chained arbitrarily, meaning that instead of having to have two comparisons such as in x less than y and y less than z, you can just use the comparison x less than y less than z. And additionally, there is no mention of a limit of how many values can be compared in a chain comparison. And on my own, I kind of tested how many I could get, and after 3,000 values in a single line, I kind of safely assume that there really is no limit to how many you can chain unless there's a limit in the text editor that you're using. Anywho, additionally, while operations such as the equal operation are always defined regardless of the object being compared, and the greater than or less than operations are only defined where they make sense, mainly if the type of object being compared has implemented these types of comparisons. Now, the first one of the operations is the strictly less than operation. For this and any following operations, I will use the variables x and y as example values for the different operations. In this case, we will take a look at the comparison x strictly less than y. This operation would return true if the value of x is lower than the value of y, otherwise it is false. Next is the strictly greater than operation. For this example, we will use x strictly greater than y. The operation returns true if the value of x is higher than the value of y, otherwise it is false. Now, a thing about the comparison operators, the ones used specifically in the greater than, less than operations, is to me kind of looks like a triangular mouth that is open towards the value that it wants to compare to see if it's higher, if it's the bigger value. That's kind of how I like looking at it, but it's something really funny, I would say. I don't know how funny it is, but it's something to keep in mind. The triangle is usually open towards the value that should be bigger for it to be true. Anywho, moving back to the operations, the equal operation, for its example being x equals y, this is an operation that returns true only if both x and y have equal values, otherwise it is false. Now, keep in mind that this is not the same as x equals y with a single equal sign. This is because a single equal sign is to assign a value to a variable. In this case, the two equal signs indicate that it is a comparison operation and not an assigning operation. It is very easy to make the mistake of using a single equal sign when what was wanted was to use two. I know I have made this mistake a bunch, but it's something to keep in mind. And now, for the inverse of the equal operation is the not equal operation. For this example, we will use x not equal than y. This operation returns true only if both x and y have different values, otherwise it is false. Now, for the next two, I kind of want to look at them together because they're kind of the same concept. They're the greater than or equal or the less than or equal operations. These are very similar to the previous comparisons that we just talked about, with the addition that if both values are the same value, it would also return as true. Otherwise, they work like the strict versions of the comparisons. In a way, they kind of work the same way as saying for x greater than or equal than y, it would be similar to x strictly greater than y or x equal to y. And finally is the is and is not operations. For this example, I will use x is y or x is not y. For some data types, this is identical to the equal and not equal operations. But for the others, the ones that are not the same, these operations test for an object's identity. So in essence, they kind of work exactly as they read. Is x y? Is x not y in this scenario? It's as simple as they read in English.